Welcome into the era of AI. Hello and welcome into this lecture in which we're going to discuss the MidJourney Vary Region feature. Now, I've already went through it, but basically we didn't go into the detail. And here you can see that we have some examples of a image here. And these images, all of them are different facial expressions. And you can notice the first one doesn't look like the second and the third. They're all different. And then here we have this. So the first image, second image, third, fourth, all at different facial expressions, but we kept the same face of the individual. And this is incredibly important to maintain consistency. So here, for instance, notice that when we look at this in a video, it starts to add some motion to the video. And that is what you want because you want the features to stay intact, like the eyes, the nose, the hair, but you want it in order for you to maintain consistency. So let's go ahead and experiment with the Vary region. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and hit /imagine. I have a prompt that I have shared with you as well. And there you go. It's a hyper-realistic photograph of a modern human's face, front-facing shot with a high-resolution digital camera. And I'm going to make this into an AR 2x1. So 2 by 1 inches, and I'm going to keep it in a raw mode. I'm not going to add any stylize. And now we're going to have our image. And then we can go ahead and we can experiment with the Vary region prompt. All right, so we got some images, except for the fact that we need to unzoom a bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select one of the images. So I'm going to go with the image number 3. I'm going to upscale that, but we're going to have to unzoom so that we can see more of the features. I'm going to zoom out twice so that we can get an extra view of the face. I could have went for a different size, maybe 16 by 9 would have been better in this application, but zooming out twice will actually help us solve this issue. So here you can see that the way the person looks is pretty neutral. So there's no expression on the face. It's a neutral expression. It looks hyper realistic. You have to agree with me. And now you can see that we get more of the face is gonna kind of getting shown. And now we can experiment with the Vary feature. But first off, I need to upscale one of those. So I'll select number 1 to upscale. And now let's go ahead and use the Vary feature. So this is an image. It's a complete image. We can see the entire face. Now what I want to do here, I want to click on the Vary region. What's going to happen is they're going to take us here. And if you want to conserve the face, you have to make sure that you keep certain areas intact. For example, I don't want to change the nose. I just want to change the facial expression. And so here, what you want to do, a hyper-realistic photograph of a modern human face. Here, instead of saying modern human face, we're going to say of a modern human face, and here smiling. So we're going to add the smiling feature or smiling expression, actually smiling expression on the face. And here I'm going to click the lasso tool. And what I want to do is I want to select from the areas that control the smile. So I'm going to start from here. I'm not an engineer of the face, but I can actually see that these are the areas most affected by the smile, because when I smile, I notice that. And so I'm going to go ahead and just start selecting those areas. It's near the cheeks and so on and so forth. And here also near this area right here. And I'm going to duplicate the same thing on the other areas. There you go. There it is. So I'm just going to keep selecting until I selected enough. It's okay if we select the other ones as well. And then here at the top, when we smile, this area also changes. So I need to make sure that I select a fair amount. But I don't want to select the eyes because I don't want the eyes to change. Because if you select the eyes with the Vary feature, what's going to happen is they're going to change the eyes. So make sure you select areas that do not change the way in which the face looks. Kind of think of it as if you're putting a mask on top of this beautiful lady's face. So that's what we're doing right here. And of course here on these areas, these also change when we smile. So we're going to have to select everything here, including the mouth, because it's a smile. And just slightly copying the important facial features. Keeping the eyes is a big thing because without the eyes, we're not going to be able to know the person. And finally, the cheekbones and the bottom part of the face as well. That also will change and be affected with the smile. But if everything else stays intact. So here I missed one area, so I have to make sure I cover that. I don't want to touch the nose because I don't want it to give me a different nose each time. I want to keep the nose intact. So you can see it's a quite bit of a job that takes a little bit of dexterity, but you have to make sure you keep selecting. Now, one more thing here. I'm going to select a little bit more of this and a little bit more of this, and that's it. So right now, let's go ahead and hit the process button. What it's going to do is going to process this and provide us with the same lady, except for with a smiling face. All right, so notice what happens is that if we click, it's the same character, except for we have a smile. So my theory kind of works, doesn't it? So select one of the first or second or third. I think those are pretty good. In my honest opinion, I'm going to go with probably the first one, or maybe the second one. So I'm going to just 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to upscale that. And notice what happens is that now we have the initial image, which doesn't look like a smile at all. And we have the second image, which looks like a smile. So I hope that now you get this tactic of using the Vary Region prompt to capture the exact same individual at different faces. Always think about it like this. Imagine as if you're putting up a mask on top of the individual's face. Of course, it's not going to be 100% similar, but trust me, people are really not going to be able to make a difference. Because here is the initial image, and here the image of the person smiling. I honestly, if I look at this at the first time, I would say, well, that's a photo of a person taken in two different smile. One is neutral and one is a smiling picture. So you get the point how these people are making Instagram characters, which like I said, I'm not a big fan of creating Instagram characters, but I'm a big fan of prompt engineering and creating stuff. And so I'd like to control the creations that I create and also have the possibility to tweak things according to my own imagination. So I want you to reach that level as well, to be able to do this kind of stuff, to say, okay, I want to take this picture exactly and just make it smile, make it frown, but I want to keep it the same. I want to keep the same character. And this is something that not a lot of people teach. I hope that you've liked this, and I will see you on the next lecture.